opportunity for Loud. You know, I think back to that video that they did going into the year where they were talking and rating all the different teams in Americas, and they rated themselves in last because they were like, oh, we're just Pancata's friends.
Humble kings.
Humble kings. And here they are, opportunity to go to Bangkok on the line here. But you got your series layout, Lotus, Pearl, and if necessary, Split. How you feel about this?
I mean, look, Loud still disappointing me, continuing up on those fracture bans. But really, what I'm curious about is if we make it to a third map, how much work Sentinels have put in on their classic best map of Split. They got owned on versus Under Thieves.
Yeah, and Lotus, we haven't seen it come out from Loud yet for this year, and this is one of those maps where you could potentially pull out that chamber, for example, if you don't want to play too much Raze, because that was also one big question going into this year with Digizine in the roster. We critiqued him in the past years when he played over at Furia that his Raze wasn't the best in the league, or even at all to be able to go against the best Razes of the league. But now that he's able to play Jet Wolves with the Op, looks really awesome. He looks pretty decent on that Raze in the last map against EG. And now, again, if he's able to pull out a chamber or something like that, it could also still give him good space and good opportunities to get those first bloods against Sentinels that like to default around this map a lot.
Yeah, of course, it's been a... So it's going to be fascinating how Loud try to outwit John in some of these moments here, right? Because you know he's going to be running the tail. you know he's going to be.
It's a good challenge for Vinny too.
Yeah, exactly. So like, where do you try to shut that down? Where do you try to find those gaps in the plan? Was there anything, Ender, that you saw in particular with Sentinels where you're like, okay, maybe they could take advantage of this?
Well, for a map like Lotus, it's hard to say because we don't know if Sentinels are going to be playing like double initiator, sort of crawl-heavy comps, or if it's going to be more controlled style. Okay. I would say if it is John QT continuing to play that Tejo, it is very important to refight into space. That agent is super good at just blasting you away at the start of a round, and it's all about choosing those timings to re-clear and get back into the zone.
And this is just standard Lotus right here.
Pretty standard, yeah.
Nothing that crazy. Let's see what we get on the other side with Sentinels, though, because one can reckon that they are going to be busting out some of the newer agents there, and that's exactly what they did.
No, I mean, again, I think Sentinels have such a great read on the meta, right? They're playing triple flashes, Quadra if you count the Paranoia coming in from Omen, so you just have so much fighting tools. The important thing for Vinny is not to get fooled by the opening volley of util John QT is going to show at the start of rounds. He is going to condition him to force him into specific points on the map, but there are always more flashes for Sentinels to be refighting with. And Vinny has to be on guard.
They have a lot of utility to play around with. That is scary.
And also very similar to what G2 was running on that map too, by leveraging a lot of that util that were mentioned before. Excuse me, with the Breach and the Tail to allow Zekin as this Euro to be a little bit more self-sufficient moving into these sites. The only difference this time around is that they're not really playing the Viper there, so we'll have to see.
We will have to see. All right, folks, let's go ahead and dive into this matchup. Riot Games Arena, make some noise as we send it over to your casters. You got Douglas C and the Shmee.
Another banger by Golden Boy and Dre. We've got a tale as old as time. Sentinels and Loud. There's so much history between these two. There's so much pedigree, championship-winning pedigree on these two rosters.
Yeah, historically Loud besting Sentinels, right? Even on this map, this first map of Lotus, the last time these two teams have faced, Loud beat them. Keep in mind, different meta, different rosters.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't matter because this Loud team has stormed through the competition of EG. They've decimated crew, and now they're here knocking on the door of Sentinels.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a massive litmus test for Loud. Because, they come into this match and they're 4-0. It is time for the Samsung match start. Load up fast, excuse me. That can come out of my paycheck. With Samsung SSDs into map 1. It is going to be Lotus Loud on the attacking side. There's a lot of talk and a lot of conversation about just how good Loud are. They come in 4-0. They waltz through EG, they waltz through crew, and now you're wondering, okay, well, are these guys legit? I think we're going to learn that today, Dre.
Yeah, and 4 years ago, you had Vinny, Pancata, Digizine on the same team. It's crazy to see them back together now. Something that was missed. B4 Esports was the name.
See that stun right at the very beginning.
Yeah, already some protocols in action off of some contact play in mid. But all that A space was gathered from Loud, and I mean, it's only solo Vice on this site. He needs to get out.
There's a lot of threat here, close by. Just in the vicinity. Again, DG having to take a quick step back. Sentinel starting to flood out onto the site. But they're going to find out that it's vacant. There's no one there. The Spike and the rest of Loud are going B.
I'm already so impressed with how Loud have approached this, baiting out so much utility from Sentinels. finessing their way into this B site and now getting aggressive positioning in the post plant.
Big fight here going the way of Kalanzin. How much more can be found? Traded right back. Pankata's in a really nice spot, but decapitated by Zelsis.
What a shot, man.
Spike still in play, a 3v3. So again, they've flipped the map. They're on opposite sides of each other now. Now you see Sentinels starting to come in towards B, with Loud holding back in spawn. DG claiming 1, make that 2. Zekin left in a 1v3. He's gotten 1, but now the stun. Is he done? Having to push forward. A tap first in the face of the flash, has to turn it. A second one, just a threat. He's gotten it down to 1v1. Is Zekin gonna do it again? What a start! Is he gonna have enough time for the defuse though? That's the closest part! No! Heroics just a bit short for Sentinels.
Second with the laser-focused crosshair placement, but it's just not enough. Loud, the way they maneuvered around that utility from Sentinels and just got into these aggressive post-plant positions, catching a lot of players off guard. It's just almost impossible. I mean, Zekin almost does it here. That's the crazy thing. If anything, these are confidence skills for him alone, but already the default, the approach from Loud, it's been great. They have a good understanding of how to play against all this utility.
You mentioned the great start for Zekin, sitting at 3-0 right now with just a pistol to play around this time. On the opposite side of the stage, you've got rifles aplenty.
Bring them down.
A good C default so far from Loud, very uncontested. Trying to bait out that Vice utility, and they do just that. That orb was also gathered onto DGZ. He's getting close to that showstopper, only 4 away. If he can farm up some kills in this anti-eco, make it clean, he might have that online for the bonus.
Catch them.
But it's a stack here, Doug. All 5 members.
They just don't have the guns. And you imagine it's not going to work out. It shouldn't work out, according to conventional wisdom, and that seems to be the case.
Oh my goodness!
Checking the smoke. I mean, sure, yeah, John will get his. It's a bit of damage done here, too. DG and Pankata both weak. Again, the tapping of the door, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. Already Loud looking to fight fire with fire. They're not afraid. Yeah, it's stacked, but we have the arsenal behind us. Bang tries to do what he can there, takes out Vinny, but DGZ will get that spike planted at the end of the round on top of that kill, making him even closer to that showstopper.
Yeah, just 2 off here. As you take a look at it, again, this belabored attempt at controlling C, and then ultimately deciding to go back B.
It was a good read from Sentinels, just the firepower is just not quite there. Loud, they need to be careful in future rounds. If they get caught out like that, if Sen can get the reads on them and have 5 members there, when they have the weaponry behind them and maybe even more utility, it's going to be disastrous for Loud.
Yeah, that spells danger.
Shadows traveling.
Banks getting up really far. Feeling some of the threat, wisely takes a step back, and Loud fill in the space.
Yeah, this is looking just like the previous round, so already Loud conditioning a lot of this C aggression. Maybe a stronger commitment this time around.
All that Vice utility will make things difficult. And now you've got the Omen TP, or Flash, excuse me, you have to get through as well.
Yes, but Doug, this is where Sentinels shine. Retaking with this composition. We saw it on Pearl. Are we going to see it here again on Lotus?
A pop of the ult?
Oh, yeah.
DG wanting to go. Flashed up. The wick is already halfway burned. How much more can he find? A satchel out. Again, finding no target. No joy.
But time was bought.
And now they're going to have to flood right back in the face of it. The stun is going to be good. Zelsis will find the first. DGC trying to hold the line. Only 1 found. Numbers still the way of the defense. This spike has been ticking for a little bit longer now. Yes, they have the numbers advantage, but time is of the essence.
Speed up.
It is brief. Pankata and Tui's brothers in arms finding 2-piece. It's all going to fall into Pankata, and again, close one, but the defuse will come through this time. Sentinels are on the board.
So impressive from Sentinels. 1 second left on that defuse. I mean, that showstopper was popped to try to disrupt any type of retake, but the awareness that you have to have in order to fall all the way back and not get picked off by that, and then you go like this,
Yeah.
it looks so clean. This is the bread and butter of Sentinels. This is why they're so strong this year. Tejo makes their retakes and their sight hits even more strong.
Good job, good job.
Good answer back from Sentinels.
All right, I think also, just looking at Zelsis's body language and reaction there compared to what we saw against 100 Thieves. What?
I mean,
That's a start.
you want to talk about body language? Bang is out of the server right now.
DG's going to continue to push the pace. Greeted by Zelsis.
Oh, and he gets out alive. Barely. A little bit of a freeze to the round, a 1-for-1 though, all things considered with that start. I mean, that's pretty good for Sentinels. Bang got deleted.
Yeah, I'd take that any day of the week.
Yeah, and again, more proactivity. They understand how good Sen is on this retake. But I feel like Sentinels are also waiting for something like this. And what is that?
Clean out from Narrate. He gets a second. Seconds pop the ult. He's gone exploring.
Full info.
A bit of a roundabout and where the last two members are. It's not even about utility at this point. They just want to find out where they are and take the fights. Pancata falls. Vinny in a 1v4 will fall.
Just absolutely smothered. Sentinels destroying Loud on yet another retake. That's 2 back-to-back, but I gotta see. What did Narrate just do right there? Was that just an intuition spray through the wall? Did he see an elbow?
I think he must have seen an elbow, yeah.
Right?
Because he was playing really close up on the angle.
It's insane. That was that crazy entry, by the way. And I don't know how Zelsis gets that trade. No, it was just intuition. He just knew. Wow. That is insane from Narrate. What a heads-up play. So smart, so aware. And that just busted that entire retake wide open.
Now we wait.
So now the economy finally looking in favor of Sentinels. They're building up a little bit of their own. And Zekken, he's sitting on that Outlaw. There's a lot of light armor on the side of Loud and no armor. Yeah, so this Outlaw is going to do some damage, man.
Oh, hey, we haven't seen Loud really have to approach around from this position where they're down. That's the only rifle they had. It's interesting that he's just going to find a pick, I guess. Try to tip the scales back in your favor.
Yeah. While all that was happening, though, when that pick happened, that A control was gathered. C orb was gathered from the side of Loud. So even though they're down, you know, disadvantageous in the economy, they're still getting something out of it. A little bit of jiggles, but that Omen teleport should get Bang out of dodge. And a lot of footsteps heard from John, but this baby door is broken. He needs to be careful.
TG's up close, Phantom on the other side. A satchel traded for a stun and a nade. The cherry on top. Meanwhile, all attention turning back towards A with the spike in hand. Vinny looking to sink it into the site.
Spike planted.
Just on the other side here. This is big from Bang.
Yeah.
Kawanzine, that would have had to have been a ridiculous shot.
An off angle from hell.
Pancata was able to grab a weapon, but is that going to be enough to keep back this flood from Sentinels?
It's going to be so difficult. I mean, this fault line is going to be decent. A lot of players are going to get lined up in this.
Vinny's one off ult. He's got the ult now. He's going to be able to pop it off the tap. There it goes.
But it misses one.
All thrown into the sky. He's able to get another one. Is there going to be enough time bought? Pancata in a 1v3, the tap of the spike, it's on his angle, but the bullet's just barely going around him, not able to settle the shots. A spam comes through, the defuse lands. Sentinels have the lead.
Almost a perfect investment from Loud. That breach ultimate hits everybody but Narrate, who cleans up 2 and then sticks the defuse at the end of the round. That one little micro mistake from Vinny, not backing up just one step, missing Narrate. That's the make it or break it.
What's tough too is, can you even call that a mistake?
I mean, it's
right?
it's a heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but
a
still,
tough
down to the
position.
wire though, right? It's so difficult. Another retake, 3 for 3 right now for Sentinels though.
3 rounds in a row now. Again, a little bit pacey towards C.
Yeah, this time too, he's sitting far back. Doesn't want to get first blooded walking out of that choke. Understands the firepower of what's behind it. Tap of the door to try to bait some rotations.
But they have that cover too. I mean, John's already in Worm. You've got Zelsis Zekken who's really far up A. Loud don't have a lot of room to work here. They have to be able to alleviate some of this pressure.
And that's why 2E's is taking that head-to-head against Zekken, but John's already cheating back over here. We've seen how deadly this setup can be. This Yoru flash, can get so much value here.
Scalp spotted, utility dumped, and now the swing. Zekin not connecting. 40 seconds left in the round, though.
He's still here, Doug. Yep.
Yeah, that'll play.
He's still hanging around now. Right before that teleport timer runs out, he gets out. And why not? You're up numbers. You've won almost every single retake other than the pistol round. Play the advantage.
Yeah, live to fight another day. If they try to go B here, you
Yeah,
got the Vice wall.
They're going to get smothered. There's already a breach here. Nere to set up.
If they're going to try to scale again, that's been the key to success. That hit a couple of them, but not all in the smoke. It's not safe. 10 seconds left on the round. The paranoia out. The spike successfully getting planted. Now the game is afoot. Numbers the way of Loud. A 2v2 now. A messy spot to be in. Narrate. Trying to creep his way forward, looking for any target he can. Zekin's been left alone. Another moment to try to deliver heroics, and he can't. That's 3 for 2Es as Loud match the number.
Back-to-back rounds where the breach ult missing one person defines the outcome. It's actually ridiculous what we're witnessing right now. I mean, the previous round, Vinny misses Narrate. This time around, the breach ult from Narrate misses 2Es.
And that's a difference maker.
Yeah, that is. And yeah, the Vice Ultimate's invested as well. That was a big commitment from Sentinels on this retake. And for Loud to just rip that one away, it kind of puts them back into, it brings momentum back into their favor a little bit. You can hear it in the comms. They're screaming, though.
That was a big round for them. We do have a minor tech pause that's happening on the stage right now. I'm being told it's audio related. So, as is always the case, any information that I get, I will relay to you good people. And we will get back into action as soon as possible. Dre, I had a lot of doubts about Loud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I didn't believe coming into this match that they'd be able to stand toe-to-toe. You've seen 6 rounds so far. What has been your takeaway?
Very impressed with how they're dealing with all the utility on the side of Sentinels. Baiting it out, even on that A fight when Zekin still kills one. The fact that they were able to bait out the missiles from the Tejo of John QT and not get picked by that utility and then go back into things, bring things back around. It's very, very impressive, the game plan of Loud going into this. Keep in mind, this is their map pick. Maybe they did a lot of prep work. I mean, we haven't seen Sentinels play this map this year yet, but historically they've been great on it. You could count on one hand how many times they lost last year and how many times they won. You need at least 3 or 4 for that one.
Quick fix, audio issue rectified. And now we can get back to the fun stuff. Tied at 3 apiece. If you've just joined us, it's been a story of retakes, success on the side of Sentinels, but Loud have been persistent. And they've brought us to this tie score early on in the first half. John QT with ult here.
Looks like they want to do a bit of a trap setup here from the side of Sentinels. You have that Omen flash in the door by Bang. And there's that Armageddon. A freebie onto DG Zin.
I didn't know if they knew where Kalanzin was, but he's been found.
Yeah, but what else has been found is this front B space from Pankata.
There's a lot left to do, though. He's got the real estate, but he's got to be able to convert it into a success somehow. That's big out from Vinny. There's help.
Bit of an overheat.
Tap on an area. I thought he was going to kill him on the second spam. No. Still a possession here as now Zekin is starting to swing things back their way. It's 4v2. The spike's still not committed. 50 seconds left in the round. And an abundance of options.
Oh, that stun could have been perfectly timed, but it's Zekin that gets the good timing this time around.
And that feels like a perfect example of when we say breach feels clunky.
Yeah.
That was it.
30 seconds left.
You imagine this is going to be a save from Pankata. Wants to keep that arsenal into the next round. I mean, if he can snag a couple kills on his way out, why not? But the economy is not looking good for Loud. Sentinels have full reset them once again. I mean, these rounds have been so close. Swing rounds back and forth. Only a Vandal save Vinny. He'll be able to buy something in the following round, maybe a Sheriff buy up for DG Zine, but that trap play from Sentinels was so clean, and you saw it set up already. The baby door broken, Tejo using the drone. Doesn't get contact there, but as soon as more utility and footsteps are heard from Bang, the Armageddon comes out, the Paranoia comes out, and you're trapped. You can't go anywhere. Kawazin, yeah, he's stuck in a smoke, but there's only one other place that Sentinels have to check, and why not spray it down?
It's interesting, too, because you often see the Tejo used for retakes or on site proper, but to use it to fight for a main space at the beginning of the round is it's different. I don't think I've ever seen it used that way before.
Yeah, it looked phenomenal. I mean, Kaplan's in the back being like, oh, that's another one that worked. Let's check that one off. Save that for later in the year.
Chance for the coaches to join the conversation. Loud call a timeout, the first of the map for them.
Yeah, just trying to ice some of this momentum. Sentinels, you spoke about it earlier, about how fired up they looked in that 100 Thieves matchup. Today, starting off a little bit more calm, but once this team gets going, their communication is so key to their success. And it gets loud, it gets intense, but they're here, they're fired up. It's a type of energy that, honestly, I haven't really seen the Sentinels team have in quite some time.
Yeah, the comm videos that they put out, this week, just a couple days ago, was really indicative of that, you're right.
They just sound hungry for a win.
Sentinels with a 1-round lead. You had the ult in play for Zekin. Speak of the devil.
Yeah. 849 days. Man. And he's so good, too. I feel like he's just getting started, Doug.
Hey, but he's been this good, and he's been getting better every year. You wonder what the ceiling is for this kid.
Super impressed with his Yoru. So after the timeout, looks like Loud is going back to their C default. This is something we've seen in the first 3 rounds.
Wonder if they're trying to feed Vinny this orb here.
Yeah, definitely. They understand that Sentinels have been giving that. I wouldn't be surprised if Sen mixed things up, put a trap play there, maybe in the next couple of rounds. Deny that orb for future rounds.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye out on that. There's still a lot of utility here. The Thorns are all here. The nade did not clear what they were looking to clear, quietly crossing on the other side of the smoke. Zekin with a lot of threat on the other side here.
Oh, no way.
Do they know? It hasn't been activated. Nothing has been caught. There's no idea. Now the paranoia out. Zekin has to take a step back. DG's already backside. He's got the old pocket. He's going to continue to try to scale, and he does. Zelsa's now found. The side is theirs.
Jeez. Most of the time, Loud has gone C. It's been using utility very early on. A flurry of trades here, but it's a 2v4.
And again, I think we saw their Loud getting what they wanted and then scaling up.
Yeah,
Kawanzin
exactly.
was in their spawn.
Exactly. This time around, Loud, instead of blowing their utility in the actual mound area, they walk all the way on site, neck to neck with Zekin right there. And then they explode. I like the idea from Sentinels, though. Zelsis switching up that wall. They were aware that there could be some kind of C pressure, but they just weren't ready for what was behind it. That showstopper invested by DGZ, the paranoia as well.
Thrifty.
And the Loud members a little too close for comfort for Zekin to deal with them. So Loud, off the timeout, they do convert that round.
You made a really good point on wondering if Sentinels would be more inclined towards fighting for some of the C space at the beginning of the round. You got to think, if they hadn't gotten that space for free, they would have never been able to pull that round off. I wonder if you're right, if we're going to see Sentinels try to be a little bit more aggressive in these main positions at the beginning of the rounds.
And what a better weapon to do it than an operator. Yeah, there isn't a lot of utility behind this, but he's able to snag a pick and get out if he bides his time correctly.
Cutting through.
It's just so much harder to do on a 3-map site, but you're right. I think the flash certainly helps. A belter of a shot from DG's in.
Face your fear.
That, and then it's going to be a bit of a speed up here. Celsius.
I mean, as it should. They've been able to find a crack in the window, and now they're trying to kick the damn thing down.
Just getting bombed by utility, but that Vice Wall separates everybody. Only Kawanzin in the site right now.
And this is going to force a slowdown for just a bit here. Now, Loud have an option. They can stay. They still have 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the round. They could flip it.
But Vinny's holding the breach ult for the Flood. Oh, a little bit of an early investment here.
Oh, Kawanzin able to get 2
Planted.
as they try to strike on the other side of the smoke.
I mean, good trade from John, but the layered utility from Loud, it's too strong. That follow-up paranoia. There were so many layers to that hold. Loud, they're not falling for that retake stuff that Sentinels has been doing. They're like, hey, we've had enough of that. The breach ult invested into water to make sure nobody walks in from there. All eyes focused on the CT smoke. I mean, Loud, they've came ready to play it here today, Doug.
Yeah, I think they have. It seems to me like they had a very clear plan on how to counter one of the things Steho's really good at, and that's retakes. We've talked about it a couple times this cast already. if you don't let Sentinels get comfortable and start their retake attempts, start to layer utility, start to flood in with it, if you disrupt that from the beginning, it's never going to work.
Exactly, and we've seen them get punished for disrupting a little bit too early on. Now it's a different type of disruption. Disrupting when the actual players are running into the site. Oh, he gets legged right there. So unfortunate for Zekin, but what a nice shot from DGZ to maximize on that little tiny mistake, that tiny little whiff. And so many of these rounds have came down to something that small.
Yeah.
When the two breach ults, a little bit of where DGZ will probably pop it out, but
whoa. Are they going to stick this TP? C is already crunched. Zelsis has nowhere to go. It's him against the world right now. Can he play off around his utility? He's been able to isolate the first. DG now dealt with.
oh,
And
dodges
there's
the paranoia.
more to come on the other side. Again, Zelsis versus the world, and so far he stands. Trying to swing out onto the third, not connecting, but damage dealt, time bought. Vinny on the swing, and now John has arrived. A couple of members of Loud remaining. Limping, sure, but they are here. Spike out of reach. And a tough spot to try to convert. Kalantine makes his best attempt to contribute and fails. Leaving the situation in the hands of Tuis. Was once a youngster,
I have retrieved the
but has grown so much. But has he grown to this?
Just dodges the up-down.
Finds a brief moment of respite to get the spike down. Now still left in a 1v3. Some of the work has been done, but it just got so much harder. Sentinels once again tie us up.
Who other than Zelsis to step up for his team in a moment where he was just getting swarmed by utility, swarmed by an Omen ultimate all the way behind him, and to isolate these 1v1s and give his team a chance into getting there, getting the rotate in and making a retake?
Nice, boys.
I mean, he really did it all. He really set the tone
I mean,
for a Sentinels round win right there, Doug.
getting the 2 that he got was outrageous enough.
Yeah, it's
to almost
insane.
get 3 is ridiculous. And so once again, we're tied light armor on a couple of members on both sides.
And so far, both timeouts. Very well done from each team. Sentinels winning off of their timeout. It's going to be an A-trap here for Sentinels. A lot of utility invested. Zekin, he's getting very aggressive. He dodges that Cypher Cam as well.
But they've got to suspect somebody's here, right? Surely DG can't see a damn thing. Narrate falls. Are they expecting John here? He's found the tiniest sliver of safety.
Exactly where you are.
Now has to give the position up. There's no running from that.
C-site is open, but everything was seen from the side of Loud. That Cypher ultimate. It's false information, though. The double back call from John QT in this moment, so good.
Right there.
That's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
How much do they bite on this? Because yeah, Kamanzi's making a load of noise. See,
They're not falling for it, Doug. Look at the minimap right now. 3 members towards this A site. This is the best chance Sentinels have being down a man.
Seconds pushing forward, spotting one member. Not connecting yet, dancing left and right, trying to hide, survives.
Happy feet.
Lives to fight another day. Meanwhile, Tui's not nearly as fortunate. DG pushing into the smoke, and he's dropped. They've swung things back in their favor.
Oh my goodness.
This was a 5v4 that they have snatched back.
Loud have crumbled in this round.
But the work's not done, is it? The spike's still planted. They're not out of the woodworks yet. Kamantin in a really good spot. Zelsis weak. 1 down. Seconds Justice pour off, though, off the swing. He's not able to draw the gun quickly enough. Now Vinny left in a 1v3. Spots 1. Still more work to be done. Remember, Second is so weak. But it's not enough. Another defuse comes through, and again, another lead change.
Vinny's had clutch moments before against EG, but this time, the IGL v IGL John sits him down. And what a comeback to the round that looked like Loud were just in control of from the start.
One enemy.
The way that Zekin was dancing around that door, not getting taken out. I mean, he almost gave Kaplan a heart attack, but
But I mean, honestly,
they turned it around. It was a phenomenal job.
Well, and that's how the half has been, right? It doesn't feel like either team has really been able to create any separation.
Super stressful.
Just when you think you have something figured out, another wrinkle is thrown into the ploy. And this time, it's Constantine with an Ares.
Get some good damage as well.
Find you.
Zekin's sitting at 60 HP, but with what we saw him do last round, I mean, he's a tough cookie to crack.
Cover going out.
It is going to be a B execute here from Loud. A lot of members here from the side of Sentinels. Those satchels were less than ideal, but it gets the job done. The space is gathered. Lucky no one was out in the open to pick them off.
A deep trip in an attempt at planting the spike. Vinny will be 2 away from his ult here.
3 members of Loud in that baby door. There is a Cypher trip set up here as well that could do some damage later in the round.
But he's playing ahead of the trip. He's got to give some of this space up.
Might be a bait.
You are flirting with fire, son.
Oh.
Fully flash, still gets a kill. Now dropped. There's that trip that we were just talking about. Pancada and Tui is able to drop second and narrate. Now Pancada continuing to push forward. Snaps onto John, snaps onto Bang, and again, a tie.
He said we've only seen 30% of his power. I think we just saw something very good from him in this round. He stepped it up big, sitting at 9 and 7, the top of the scoreboard, closing out the half for his team, making it even 6-6.
A much more highly contested battle between these two. And you mentioned it, yeah, it's Loud's map pick, and you know we can have that conversation, but the truth of the matter is Loud have pushed, Sentinels have pushed back, neither team has folded. And that just made for a really damn good half of Valorant. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That was great.
The good thing is, there's more Valorant to be had on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, stick with us, we'll be right back.
Ooh, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. You know, at Verizon, we'll pay off your phone. And you'll get iPhone 16 on us. That's a value of up to $1,600, only on Verizon.
The tables have turned, and now Sentinels are going to be on the attacking side. We'll see how things play out. Again, thank you for sticking with us through the break. Dre, I want to get your thoughts on this comp. We've seen it on the defense for Sentinels, but this Vice, Tejo, Breach, Yoru, well, what are you looking for? What are you expecting?
So many options available for this attacking side. I mean, you could really bait out a lot of the utility that Loud has and then just execute on a site with the infinite utility that you have.
Right.
So I'm expecting a lot of that. That's the power in the Yoru. You can TP out of a lot of this crazy stuns or tether nades that can happen. Zekin already trying to dance with fire over here towards that A-side default. And everybody else just holding.
It's interesting. John dropped his missiles right outside of B main at the very beginning of the round, and they're still looking at it. Almost convinced that there would be a swing there.
Rightfully so. I mean, 3 members were geared up towards there for the side of Loud. It's a full retake on this C site with only a cam there. Orb is gathered by John. Already putting an emphasis on that Teo ultimate. We've seen how good John can be. The Michael Bay of Teo. He's the director on this agent.
Worth noting here, too, 5 ghosts on the side of Loud.
Yeah, not a lot of utility.
I mean, they are shooters. And so you go, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
This is a smart pistol round from Sentinels, denying info at A, taking all that space. It does prompt a bit of a speed up from Loud. This is the protocols from either end right now. John, he might get cut off here.
They're playing him like puppets on strings, but you're right, John's gonna get caught on the swing.
Good proactivity from Loud in mid. Yeah, the rotate's very late. Sentinels are gonna have to take space. Deep CT, try to even the score.
They're planning really deep here.
Yeah, they're all corralled back here though, and there's a breach at the other end of this, Doug.
I think they're gonna want to scale into spawn and then potentially flip through.
Oh, they gotta be careful here though.
No, instead they're digging their heels in. They're choosing to stay.
They're just gonna fight.
Spamming through the smoke. Zekin looking to find another one for free, and he does.
It's bloody murder.
2 left. What can DG and Vinny do? Side by side, trying to attempt this retake. From spawn, gets the best of Zekin. Still plenty of work to be done, though. 2 classics on the other side, but light armor.
It's not planted for them.
Vinny, he's gotten it to half. He's gotten it to half. There's the swing. The flash comes through, and the round for Sentinels.
Celsius and C-Site, he's clutching again and again, Doug. It comes down to this man right here on your screen. And he stepped up to the plate like crazy.
All missiles away.
Those are those missiles you saw in the beginning, some going towards C as well, trying to thwart any type of aggression. I like the proactivity from Loud off of that A default when they kind of get denied info over there. But the way that Sentinels identified where they should be playing in that post plant, taking the fight too Loud on that flank, they understood that that breach fault line in CT, it's very strong.
A Marshall for Zekin here in the second round of the half.
Yeah, and a fast approach out A as well. Testing the waters here, getting a little bit more confidence. See what kind of utility is thrown.
It is there. He hasn't found it yet, but it is there.
Certainly, and he gets to just prod in here. Cam will be tapped maybe after some sound is made. Zekin's just messing around over here with the Marshall. Gets the orb for free. No tap of the cam still.
Come on, man.
There it is. Caught in 4K.
Removal of the dart, though, and I think for Sentinels, they haven't invested a ton on this side.
And this is something that Zelsis is so good at doing. When contact has been made on one side of the site, he goes hunting, he goes fishing. And he just weasels his way in, Doug.
Are they going to take the bait?
But it doesn't matter, because even if he sees 3 here, he's going to call his team to go A.
No, but he whiffed it. Oh, he whiffed it. He made a mess of it.
All good. You still have the numbers advantage. 4v2 on the A site. It's all part of the master plan. An absolute cinema.
Paranoia out. They're going to continue to scale. 2 East falls.
Good delay, though.
13 seconds left.
Oh, my God, the nade.
A second attempt. Finally succeeding. But it's gone down to a 3v3. This has already gotten way too messy. Couple of members weak. DG has a sheriff.
Oh, my 2 members are 1 shot. No.
Potential to steal the round away. What can Loud do? Can they turn this into magic? Does not seem to be the case unless Pankata can do it on his own. And the no-scope from Zekin will seal the deal. Sentinels get to 8.
Very labored. But Sentinels, they bring it back. They win the anti-eco round. Zelsis, he saw 3 members on that C site when he was going fishing. And he's so good at just finessing around these corners, finding the right timings, just slipping right past the defenses. Gives enough info for his team to get here. And it got scary for Sentinels.
Yeah, it got way closer than it should have been. You're right.
I mean, that layered utility from Loud was really good. It almost got the job done.
They're just so uncomfortable on the site.
Absolutely. We'll be fire with fire here.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy start towards A from both sides, and DG lights him up. That's 3 on the round for him.
And he wanted more.
Vinny having to take a step back as he's peppered. Worse for wear, 21 HP.
Cover going out.
And Sentinels find themselves in a bit of a mess. Bang is weak.
You have 2 of the most clutch players on the Sentinels roster with 1 minute on the clock to do what they want to do. Bang. I think there may have been a shoulder scene right there from Kawazin.
A
But
tap.
this,
Yeah, the tap of the door too will confirm. Creeping forward, playing things as quietly as he can. They've got to find a way to try to get this back to equal footing. Yeah, they've gotten the spike down. But there's a flank that's going to be coming in from Pancada through the southern side of the map.
he second guesses himself.
This is taking a long time, Dre.
Yeah, they're Loud are so cautious right now. But Bang and Zelsis, they're so clutch.
Big from Celsius. He's not going to get challenged again. The spike has been ticking for a long time. They've got to accelerate here.
This 1v1 is what it comes down to right here.
Player standing.
That's one found. Banks got to get this kill. He's able to get one. Those are a couple more on the other side. Kawanzin will swing and clean him up. And now the defuse.
Yeah, it seemed very scary, but I guess Loud, they were very calm and composed during that entire time. That 1v1 that Pancada won against Zelsis.
That was it.
Yeah, that was really what made the difference there. Because, yeah, with that time ticking, it could have gone in favor of Sentinels. And listen, Doug, there's a lot of questions from everybody, Doug. A lot of questions from everybody. Is DGZ just an op one trick? Yeah, forget an agent one trick. Forget about a Jet. Is he an op one trick? Stepping up huge here, showcasing his rifle skills. That 3K, it was snappy, man.
There was never any question of that guy's mechanical skill when he was on the stage and when he took the year off, but he's back now. A very aggressive play towards B, and again, this is going to be a mess. They're all huddled in here. The rocket deals a little bit of damage, but it does not find lethality. Meanwhile, Sentinel's on the other side. The counterpunch connects. You've got to be careful here, though. Pancada again on the prowl. Wise to it, though. Zelsis was covering the flank. Now all eyes towards A.
And 2 trips, also a Cypher Cam here as well. Sentinels, they're going to have to just disrespect this. They have to just speed up into sight here. The more time they waste, the more time Pancada is allowed to flank.
There's just so much utility, as you mentioned, that they're going to have to navigate through and circumvent.
Oh, they've done just that as well.
Planted.
Now this flank is absolutely useless from Pancada. Post plant, 3 players in tree. Narrate with a solo on site. A great paranoia on the top of the door.
Pancada looking for a target, looking for a scalp to claim.
Great smoke.
Meanwhile, they've been stuck on the other side, and Kawanzin! Oh, it's a mess! Narrate can still secure the round off the stun. There's a swing, he finds one. Backs against the wall. Can Narrate respond? Can he contribute? He's gotten it down to the one that remained, and he cannot hold on. Kawanzin, what was that?
What was the flash that hit Sentinels in tree right there? Was it the Vice flash that blinded everybody?
I'm not sure.
I gotta play that back. I just missed it. It all happened so fast. This was the entry into the round, but it's madness. I mean, look at John QT. He got team flash right there. So unfortunate. He was the guy that would have taken Kawanzin out. Yo, he's popping off. STK is also popping off.
Again, this back and forth affair continues to deliver. It's a gift that keeps on giving. 8-8.
What a banger first match so far. A lot of utility here invested from Sentinels to take this C space. Something we haven't seen yet. A very aggressive trip and a spam.
These pugnacious protocols are not working out for Sentinels. So much found. And again, Sentinels are forced onto this back foot.
I must wait a moment.
Still early days in the round, but it feels they've invested this ult. They've got a flank coming around the other side. And they still know. Zekin's able to trade it for one, yes, but there's so much more left to do. The Prowler, Loud, it's not enough. Loud take the lead back.
And you love to see it, that trap play from Loud onto the C mound area, that deep trip right on the ground. Tui's gets a free spam, but the follow-up, Doug, from Kawanzin, that fade eye, that is insane. That was thrown from B site, Doug. That's a lineup from B site.
Last player standing.
What a sick play.
Okay, done.
You can't do anything about that if you're SEN. There's no way you're ready for that. A wisely timed timeout from Kaplan right now, because they just got absolutely decimated by that trap play from Loud.
The timeline.
That was
The timeline tells how close of a game this has been and how it feels like Loud are starting to create a little bit of separation. They just won 3 rounds in a row, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the first time either team has won that many rounds in a bunch. Loud are starting to tip things their way here.
And what a way to do it as well with the crazy trap play. I mean, what a read, what a call from Vinny to call that setup. And the heads-up play from Kawanzin to be able to get that lineup out in time while still kind of worrying about that front B, that's
hard,
not an easy thing to do. That's like a split-second decision off of the trip hit.
But it's going to have to continue to be stuff like that if they want to put Sentinels away, because as we've mentioned a couple of times now, they're not folding, right? They'll bend, but they have not broken yet. So if there is to be a knockout blow on Loud, where does it come from? Is it the op in the hands of DG? Because we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Cover going on.
I mean, this is a tough map to op on as well, so we might not even see it at all on this map, but you're definitely going to be seeing it on Pearl. We know that as a fact.
And Pankata's there. Speeding up towards C once again.
Yeah, but another change of a trip here.
This is 5 Stingers. I mean, they're wanting to get up close and personal. They're wanting to get past all of his utility and try to take the fight to their doorstep.
It's just disgusting. These Cypher trips are dismantling Sentinels like Kawanzin running through.
Stinger's just not connecting. And again, Sentinels are in a spot where they're fully surrounded. You got 2 towards spawn.
Last player standing.
You got 2 on the other side as well.
Oh, man. I mean, we've seen him here before, but he only took out 2 previously. He's going to have to take out the entire squad of Loud, and he cannot do that here. 2Es will clean up the round. That's 10-8 now for Loud.
And 4 rounds in a row.
Ridiculous. The last 2 rounds, a free kill off the Cypher trip. He's changing up his positioning with this utility, and it's paying out dividends.
Planted.
Yeah, it certainly worked that round. Again, those were 5 Stingers, but the point being, we're seeing a gap.
But now you're worried if you're Sentinels. Where are these trips at? You don't have a raise to really, I guess, break a lot of areas where it could be at.
Sure, you don't have the nades, you don't have the satchels, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you have the Yoru clone, but it's not really getting as much value.
There's a lot towards A here for Loud.
Yeah, bit of a gamble here from Loud, opting to play that full retake C. Info will be gathered now from John QT with that stealth drone B used. And I mean, they're just running it down. See, they're playing the odds. Okay, you stuffed us there twice, surely not a 3rd time. There's that Yoru clone this time, baiting out the Cypher trip. So, being a little bit more methodical on the entry is Sentinels.
If they try to fight this out from C, they have the tools to do it, Dre. They have Narrate's ult, they have John's ult too.
Oh, this breach ult could be very juicy for Narrate.
Do they know they're there?
Oh, the tap of the door though.
There it is, Rolling Thunder invested. They've also got the Teho ult used. Vinny's the first claim, the Paranoia not connecting, but the smoke to provide a little bit of cover. They gotta try to flood out. DG plucked from the sky.
Oh, they're stuffed.
There's no way for them to get in.
Yeah, they can't do anything. Right now, if you're Loud, you go for every exit you possibly can.
And now 2Es has been dealt with from defender spawn.
Yeah. If there was a Teho utility kill counter, I think John would have the most. Don't fact check me on that, but I feel like he really does. It seems like it. Every time I see this guy, he gets a kill with it. But yeah, that Armageddon as well. A great reaction. I think there was an interview with John himself saying that Teho comes down to the creativity of the player.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's extremely creative on how he uses the utility. He's very smart. I mean, this ult, that's not something that you rehearse. It's just
that's
on the fly.
Yeah.
So a really good post plant this time around from Sentinels. And that's the key to success for Sen. They need to get on these sites without dropping 1-2 players. Give themselves an actual chance.
They've gotten back up to 9. Still 1 round separating these 2 teams on a map that has had 6 lead changes so far. There might still be more.
That's how close it's been. We do finally get to see the operator out of DG's in. This is a very aggressive angle. And there's a breach to follow it up. C utility was used very early on for Sentinels. Nothing behind it though. Pancata, he does slip a little bit ahead of the mound area. He's got to be careful here though. If utility is invested from Sen, he might not be able to get that TP off in time.
This is a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, you got to get out now.
Yeah, they're so diligent in their approach, man.
Very
a little
smart.
bit of laziness, and maybe you don't clear that, he gets one.
There's
But
the lurk.
That's big, too. I mean, you were just talking about how part of the success for Sentinels is you can't be in a numbers down situation early. What? Instantly equalized, so big from Bang. And now they can turn their attention towards C. The spam not connecting. 10 HP for the controller as he TPs onto the site. Vinny has his ult. How are you going to retake with an op in the hands of DG, though?
I don't know, you got to swap it out.
Rolling Thunder invested. They really did not have a chance to settle. Second is gone unchecked. He wasn't hit. Able to get one onto Kalantine. Narrate on the swing. The spike has been planted, and now
He still has a flash.
There is a question that Loud have to answer. Do they fully commit to this? Do they try to save? The money is not great. A big swing out from Narrate. Traded right back, though. 3v2, they continue to knock. But the door has been slammed shut. And again, we are tied.
And the operator just got no value in this round whatsoever. There wasn't anybody to follow up off of that breach ultimate. And yeah, it missed again. One player being the key difference maker, dodging the breach ultimate, killing everybody in water. I like the idea from Loud, breach ulting the site, maybe trying to force them back into that operator of DG's in who was tapping that door. The Sentinels, they had a read on it. They weren't falling for that whatsoever. Everybody played in sight. Nobody took a challenge. And bang, this 180. I mean, you cannot make that up. There's just some fire in this kid. He's just able to find kills like that. Loud. They use their last time out here. We're all tied up again. Sentinel stringing 2 rounds back to back. A lot of success on these C post plants. And now Loud, they kind of are forced to compensate. You're kind of going to have to play a heavier C side setup. But John and Kaplan, they're probably reading ahead of that. You might see them work a little bit more B. They haven't really touched B whatsoever other than that walk up from Zelsis, who just got killed.
I think if you're Loud, you have to figure out how do you find value from the op. Right, you had it in a round, you were able to save it into the next. You've got to set DG up, and I think they tried that in the previous round by getting him on that deep A line that you mentioned. But
and it gave them a lot of good info as well.
It did, but the info didn't win them the round.
It's just so hard because of Sentinel's composition. They have so much utility to use on these post plants. I mean, they didn't even have ults. Wait till Sentinels start getting ults online.
I mean, that's not going to be anytime soon. You've got Zelsis, who's one away from his, but other than that, a clean slate for Second and Bang.
Yeah.
So it will be a bit.
Yeah, here's what I'm talking about, that compensating now for the C site, but Sentinels are still going to show. They're still going to do the default. DG a little bit closer now. Maybe going to peek a little more aggressively with the Sky Dog in front beat. A lot of spam.
With confidence and conviction, Sentinels push towards C. Second, the tip of the spear. And yeah, he gets beat up a little bit, but they've gotten the space they wanted.
And I wonder now, Doug, if Sentinels are going to tap on this door, re-clear that front B space. Maybe at the same time as they walk all the way back. Footsteps were heard. Kalanzine heard Zelsis put that wall up as well. This is all signs leading to C right now. DGZine is going to have to go huge here.
The clone attempting to forge a path, and Pancata swings on Zekin. Again, absolute filth. But still more to be done. Repositioning and looking for more, another lease at life. Meanwhile, Kalanzine make things really uncomfortable for Narrate as he tries to dance around the mound. Finds a kill onto Kalanzine. Vinny on the swing, he will fall as well. Another claimed by Narrate.
There.
And another round where this operator has seemed to not get any value. He's getting triple swung, but it's the quick scope.
It's not done yet, only one found. Narrate with 3. Pancata on his own. Started the round onto second. He's gotten it down to 1v1, and Narrate saves the day for Sentinels. 4 apiece as Sentinels take the lead again.
Saves the day indeed, getting 4 into the round. He killed 2 by himself on the flank. So much utility being thrown at him, but he was calm, collected. He racked up the headshots. Nice attempt from DGZ. That's the only value he's gotten from that operator. He had to jump operator somebody. And a little bit of hype now from Sentinels. That's scary. When they get going, it's full steam ahead.
And going they have gotten. That's 3 rounds in a row for Sentinels. They've taken the lead back. Now the 7th lead change in this one map. This back and forth affair has been a treat to watch if you're not a fan of either team. But it's been nothing but stress and heart attacks for those who are.
And it's been nothing but C-hits for success for Sentinels.
If it ain't broke. Again, they will test the waters here.
You can't even get into the site. You can't play in it. You can't flood out. Sentinels force you to play retake. And their post plants are so damn good.
Vinny is a sheriff and Kamaltine is a Bucky.
Yep. I mean, they have to buy every single round after this too.
Planted.
You'd imagine how things have gone historically.
Excuse me? That's 1.
Forget what I was saying.
That's 2.
Oh my. 3,
Player
4.
They've taken this back.
Off of the Bucky, man.
They didn't have the weaponry.
What is this series, Zelsis? He has no chance here.
But honestly, weaponry be damned.
Wow. Just 1 spot left unchecked, and Kawanzin fills the gap. The perfect Bucky headshot. I mean, a 1 pump. It doesn't get more satisfying than that. Pankata just in deep spawn. He's able to see over the actual site, pick off some of those tips of the heads. And right now, DG's in. He has the showstopper online. No operator in play. Maybe that's the difference maker, and that's a weird thing to say, Doug.
Note here, Kawanzin is 1 off of his ult too. I wonder if there's a set piece to try to get him the orb.
Yeah, it looks like they were thinking about it at the start of the round.
Vinny's alone.
1 is not good for Vinny. Second, what a nice shot, and he's out. So now the defense is spread thin. John QT, he's able to maneuver, bait out rotations already. DG's in, cheating over towards that A site. I mean, Lotus right now for Sentinels, it's theirs.
It's a 1 map. It's a 1 site map right now for them. Again, they're back C. Second's got to be careful.
Yeah, but if you can get another one here.
There's a lot of threat on the other side. 2 found.
Here's the speed up into C. It's all up to Pankata here. What can he do? How long can he delay?
The Paranoia will buy a little bit of time as he tries to TP to safety and does.
Does a great job.
Celsius is in a good spot.
Wow, another head-to-head 1. That's the second 1v1 Kawanzina's shut down Zelsis in.
And so again, the numbers deficit situation for Sentinels, and it just went from bad to worse. Loud knocking on the door of map point. Narrate left in a 1v4. Doesn't even have the spike. He's gonna frag his way through this. He has no choice. Not offered any other opportunity. Just waiting to see if anyone's foolish enough to make a mistake, a slip. But it does, again, not look like that will be the case. Loud are the first to 12.
Doug, it looks so promising at the start of the round for Sentinels. Zekin gets the pick onto A, but then he stays for too long. Too many 50-50s after your man up. This 50-50 right here, it defines the round. It gives Kawanzin the fire that he needs to just destroy Sentinels. A bit of an overheat. Overcooking a little too much. And now a double operator, Doug.
And it's going to be on opposite sides of the map. 2Es with 1, DG with the other. No, DG used his ult in the last round, but Kawanzin has his. Tap of the door, an aggressive line taken, and once again, all eyes towards C. Celsius is going to be controlling the flank. He's been patient, but now he's been found. He's been had.
Yeah, he's fished out right now.
Wisely takes a step back. But with an op on the other side, it's danger.
And a spam kill on the Bang.
The Rolling Thunder will try to forge a path out onto the site. They've invested a bit more ults on the back of the site as well. Numbers the way of the defense. And the spike still hasn't really made its way out. It's been labored. It's been difficult to get through. But they find clarity in the Calamity. Things slow down, and now space is theirs to take. DG with the op, a turn of the flash, a second swing back. Now stunned again, taken off the line, and third time is best. He gets the last kill. Loud take Lotus. What a map.
What a map indeed. That operator wasn't really doing anything in the early rounds, but DGZ warming up a little bit, closing it out. Pancata though, getting that final kill on the Bang in that last round. Taking out a player like that, that gives you the confidence to close it out yourself.
Yeah, I said going into this series, I had a lot of questions for Loud. How real were they, right?
Yeah.
How good are these guys? How good is this team? It's only been one map, but they showed me a lot.
And it's been a long time coming. Like I said, 4 years ago, 3 of these members teamed up in the beginning of Valorant. Now they're back here and they're taking names. They've won this first map of Lotus.
Yes, it was their map pick. It was a map that neither team had shown. But now we're headed towards more familiar territory, right? We're headed to Pearl, and then we're headed to Split. So we'll see how things look on the other side of this. Again, if you are just joining us, you missed a banger. 13-11, the way of Loud on Lotus, but still plenty more where that came from. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
One enemy remaining. Okay, who's got defenders waiting?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Cara. E será que ele faz aqui ainda pronta? Foi cancelado! This is it, the Null Commander set them up, and instantly around the corner, Zealous is waiting. Oh my god!
Here with the coach of Loud, a very close map pick of yours, Lotus, but you ran away with it in the end. Something I want to ask you is that we talk a lot about the Taeho and how impressive his util is. You managed to run away with it without a Taeho versus a Taeho. Why do you think that is?
I think that we practice a lot against teams that play with Taeho. Our play style doesn't use this too much. I think that's a more aggressive agent, so we play more passive, kind of this. So we have a really good plan for this week. We practice a lot against Taehos, so that's why we have a better plan for today, better than them.
Better than them. Best luck on map 2.
And better than them they were. A 13-11 scoreline gives Loud that first win. Now you're probably realizing Vancility, you hear me? Vancility actually grew hair. No, we're actually joined by Emily, who's here today. Emily, welcome to the desk. In case you guys aren't familiar, Emily, played for FlyQuest, Game Changers competitor, pro players, been in the game for a minute, right?
Got the insane Omen 1v4
I know,
clip.
hold the applause, hold the applause.
I mean, Sentinels could have used a little bit of that, I don't know.
It definitely could have, but let's go ahead and dive into it. Emily's going to be joining us here for this segment. Let's talk about what we just saw, because Loud comes out and manages to pick up a massive win. Now, here's the thing. We thought that this was going to be Sentinels really rolling with this Taeho ender, but really it just felt like Loud had the
Look at this calamity of rounds. It's a team flash blinding 3 players, Kawa gets, and then here, that's a tripwire that catches Bang, and then no one's looking
No one breaks the
at
eye.
the Fade Eye. So like, it was just this string of 2-3 rounds in a row that Loud kind of ran away with it because of failure to break utility and then poor incorporation of the breach flash.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, right, Emily, like what does Sentinels do to, because you heard Coach SEK saying, we practiced all week against these Taehos, so we are prepared for this. Now, well, what do you end up doing? If they got your number, if they know what you want to do, how do you try and work around that?
That is very tough. Taeho breach combo has a lot of util going into the round. I think they had the right idea, but I don't think their executes were the best.
Yeah.
Their, I guess, timing was really off for me.
Yeah, timing did feel like that was a big problem for them. And even then, it also felt like Loud was taking advantage of that big time.
Yeah, because we were talking about it during the game, and you were saying that while Sentinels are using their util at the start of rounds, a lot of times they were speeding up into the sites before
before they even have the recharge, which I think is what makes Taeho breach so strong. They, both their stuns line up with each other, 40-second cooldown, but they weren't using that on their execs.
Yeah, and there's other tools they had too, for example, Yoru clone can break those tripwires, but for whatever reason, that was getting broken earlier. It wasn't actually going deep enough to break the tripwire. So even when they were still trying to use those other tools to speed up, it still was players getting shot on traps.
Also, I'm curious what the first bloods were like as well, because I felt like Sentinels were going to a lot of those fights.
Can we pull up the we have that again? I don't know.
I'm quite curious what that was, but in any case, though, at the start of the show, we always like to do our predictions, right? The thing is, Emily, she wasn't here yet, so we didn't show Emily's prediction. But it turns out Emily really wanted to get her predictions on screen.
Yeah, whoa.
And let's go ahead and show.
I was astonished. I was absolutely astonished that everyone was voting for Sen here when I was 2-1 Loud all the way.
You're the only one.
I feel like no one else is this big on Loud.
Why?
What has you believing in them?
Just based off of their last few matches, I think they're going really strong, especially against their last matchup. I watched their split. They have a really good, even though they weren't playing Taeho breach here, I'm so excited to see that. I need to see it go to map 3.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say a 2-0.
So, what's interesting though is that we were talking about how maybe the match opponents weren't necessarily up to the same caliber, and that could a easier match schedule, so on and so forth. You don't believe that. You don't believe that narrative.
No, I'm a big Loud fan.
Okay, I respect it. I like it. All right then. Well, you heard here from Emily. She's the only Loud believer. So for Brazilian Valorant fans out there, there's your hero. But for now though, let's go ahead and toss it over to Coach Kaplan, who's standing by with Elizabeth.
Here with the coach of Sentinels, Kaplan. A very close map, but Loud runs away with it 13-11. What did you tell the boys back there that they needed to work on in order to take away map 2?
Gonna tell them again before we load in, we just gotta wake up. We're just playing scared. We're playing like this is a different game than the one we practice every day, like it's a harder game than we normally play. We just need to play with confidence, and there's no excuses. I have an incredibly talented squad who all have stage experience, so we just gotta play like we're here to win and do what we've practiced at the right pace, and we'll be good.
Best luck on map 2.
Thank you.
do what they have to do to get the win. Play with that confidence. That's what Coach Kaplan wants to see.
Yeah, that was a weird one because that felt like a little bit more aggressive than I'm used to out of Cap.
I like it, though.
He was clearly not happy with how Sentinels were performing.
Well, how could you be happy with it, given that, you're running Tejo, the greatest agent in the world, and then out of nowhere.
Okay, we're blowing the comps out of perspective.
Hyperbole, but
true. I can read what you're doing here. No, but truthfully, I think like especially that second half was kind of a disaster, a string of some really tough rounds. So I think it might even be a little bit more than just confidence here, and it's like basic fundamentals that they need to be hitting. That just
there were whole rounds where like haunts weren't even being shot at.
Oh, for sure. People just not even holding smoke.
Cypher, and then again, we imagine Sentinels will be showing a bit of the same. I want to get your thoughts on this because this was part of the conversation that the desk had at the beginning of the show was Tejo's win rate against non-mirror matchups.
Yeah.
They did it once, and you even heard STK say in the interview with Liz, they felt very confident in a plan to not have to run Tejo and still be able to beat it. They did it on Lotus. Pearl feels like a different beast, though.
Yeah, especially with the changes to the smokes where you can't just ping and spam anymore. The Tejo utility feels like it's just even stronger for that because you can use missiles on the spike, you can do everything of that sort. How many rounds did we see Sentinels get away with diffusing the spike against 100 Thieves without getting spammed? It's really changed the entire game, and it's changed this map of Pearl.
It does feel like Tejo's maybe, I would venture to say, strongest map would be Pearl. So again, we'll see. Can Loud do it again? They were able to figure out how to get a win against the Tejo comp without running one on Lotus. We'll see if Pearl tells a similar story. Loud on the attacking side, a little bit of a exploratory mission towards the middle of the map and up towards Art. It's not a split, though.
Yeah, this already looks like the last pistol they ran on Pearl. And they lost. They got demolished here in Art.
Watch that flash. There it is. DG has to accelerate and still gets a kill on his Elsis. Traded right back, though, from John as he takes a step back and takes another with him.
But the explosiveness right now from Loud. All the meanwhile, Pancata, he's now creeping up C-Long. Narrate, get some info. But this is a free C site currently. Sentinels, they're going to have to regroup, get together, try to get some nice shots here with those ghosts that they have. Zekin and Narrate. Zekin, we saw him get 3 in the previous pistol on Lotus. All headshots. He's going to have to step up huge here. Loud, they're playing this so cautious. It's honestly buying a lot of time for Sentinels to get into good positions for this retake.
Well, I mean, Sentinels have to go slow here. There's no idea on where the other members are, and you know they're outnumbered. Note here, clean bill of health for both the Duelist and the Initiator.
Yeah, Kawanzin also has that light armor. It's going to take 2 bullets to take him out at least.
Surely you're not expecting him here. You've been spotted, you've been stunned, and now the swing impending. Kankata's shoulder.
Good jiggle.
Has been seen. Off of it. The clone is so good, but again, he still can't find the kill, and all this is doing is buying time. Sentinels have to accelerate here, and now they're going to have their attention divided. I said one way, I said another. Zekin in a 1v3. He's gotten it down to 1. It's just not enough. He was way too weak.
They tried their best. Pancata, he's just too sharp. 5-0 in first kills, first deaths on the last map. He closes this pistol round out, but Loud again. They get the first blood and the trades to follow up. They had 16 first kills on Lotus, Doug.
That's ridiculous.
Sentinels had 8. And I remember John QT saying in the last series when they lost the first map, 13-4 to 100 Thieves on that split, we were playing like boys on that last map. Let's play like men now. How many times can that speech work, though, before you just have to play like that from the start?
I think it also was a frustrated look out from Kaplan is Loud. Just really highlighting the gun difference here. TG able to get 2, make that 3. A classic.
It's so
just
reminiscent of the Lotus, too, right? When there was a stack in C, right behind the smoke, but they just get sprayed down.
Yeah, the classic just really whimpers in the face of a Vandal in a situation like that. But yeah, it was frustrated from Kaplan. You heard in the interview with Liz in between maps, like they need to play like this is the same game that they play in practice every day. And there's no excuses. Their team that has stage experience, things like that, is just a very different tone out from their head coach.
I mean, they really curated one of the best rosters, I think, out of any of the teams in VCT. You pick up one of EMEA's best players in Narrate. I mean, yeah, he was in NA before, but you bring him back. He had such a strong performance in EMEA. You bring Bang, who's one of the best controller players in NA, hands down. No question about it. A little bit of whiffage, too. Will get the job done, but then you have Loud, who brings back stragglers, people that have been brought down to the gulag.
You're right, though. I think the Sentinels roster was built to win, right? Like that was the intentions behind these pieces that they put together. And again, Kaplan's a man who wears his emotions on his sleeve at times, and you know what he's thinking and how he's feeling. So
yeah.
Definitely not how they wanted to start this series or this map. Down 2-0, but now they have guns to fight back with.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it seems to be this year slow starts for Sentinels, but one round, one eco, something of the sorts, it can really just bring Sentinels all the way back. And once they get the ball rolling, that's when you see this crazy type of comeback. Still very early on in this map. This first gun round should shape up how the rest of this half will go.
Loud is making a lot of noise towards B, but you take a quick look at the minimap, they're not all there. Really just intended to manipulate rotations, draw them back.
And what have we seen so far? We've seen a heavy mid geared up pistol. We've seen a lot of pressure on A on the anti-eco. Now, all this C space gathered, drone invested. 3 members are stuck here at B. You look at the mini-map, everyone on Loud already leaning towards that A site. This is great IGLing from Vinny.
Zekin's in a tough spot here. This 1v1 is big. And he stands and he delivers. Now you expect the acceleration out to rotate, but keep a close eye on the mini-map once again because it's Kawanzin who's going to be looking to do what Pankata could not. And Zekin, again, is wise to it.
So aware.
Eyes on the back of his head. He knows where the threat's coming from. Dart be damned, ignoring it in the face of it. Gets a kill on the Kawanzin anyway. Now is able to TP away. Threat dealt with. Numbers their way. DG in the face of all that utility. You've got the stun, you've got the drone, you've got a barrage headed your way. And still trying to navigate and dance around that. Required to do a fancy little two-step. Face of the flash, Vinny on the turn, still healthy enough to fight. 1 kill for 1. And those numbers do not add up when you're down in a situation like Loud were. Sentinels were on the board.
Zekin is him. All that damage he just did in A main. The pre-fire on the Kawanzin. Kawanzin was a player in the last map who was winning so many of the head-to-head 1v1s. This time, even with scans on Zekin, he gets taken out by a pre-fire. And this is something that Sentinels are so good at, is anchoring this A site. There's so many angles they approach you from. If you don't have that A main control, it just adds another one to the mix. So much of their success is revolved around retaking that A site, getting a couple picks on the way in. You're going to see a lot of Zelsis playing around smokes on A, Bang even playing in front of his Astra Stars, then sneaking back into sight. B pressure again from Loud. KO the only one outside of A. He's going to use this knife, try to get some info. He already used it. Right now, the defense holding their ground, not biting on anything.
Yeah, they've really only seen what they saw, the knife and then the dart, which is very similar. This is the same look that Sentinel saw in the previous round. Loud are showing the exact same thing. So we'll see if this 3-1-1 default continues for Loud.
Yeah, another 50-50, this time a flash.
It's the same look, but this time, as you were saying, he's got a flash to try to tip things back his way. Zekin dancing around, he's got utility to help. That's another 1v1 going the way of the duelist.
Okay, Doug, he's truly had enough. He's taking things into his own hands. He gets flashed off that line, he still stays and fights that.
That's what you want out of your duelist. Meanwhile, Loud now choosing to accelerate and go back towards B. You've got DG who's already dashed backside, but Telsis is gone unchecked. Kawanzin still snaps on him though. Finds a kill, and it looks free. DG continuing to push up, Phantom in hand, Zekin on the swing, and that's another head claimed. A massive round out from Loud.
And I don't even know how that's even possible in the first place. What is that flick from Kawanzin on the Zelsis? Zelsis gets so many kills like that, playing on the edge of a smoke, but to get flicked in that manner, also Bang. He didn't even get to play the round, he just gets spammed off the rip through a smoke. This Loud team, some of the things that they've been doing, some of the things they've been showcasing, it's been nothing short of spectacular. So this time, there's gonna be backup in A main. They've had enough of Zekin being here. It's a dash, dagger, suck play.
And bring it a little bit more muscle.
They truly were like, yo, if you're gonna stay here, we're gonna try to punish you. Wise of Zekin not to play in the same spot, but the economy of Sentinels, they got broken in that last round. Everybody on Sheriffs. A quick TP out of mid. But another stack from SEN towards this A site, and Loud, they seem to be running into him. The first time around, it was a spam through the smokes. This time Sentinels are playing way more back. And in these positions, I mean, you can really pincer the attackers. Rockets can isolate. You have a lot of stuns. You already have a tether lineup coming out here. Loud needs to be very careful. That's a great entry from Tui's.
Stars go down, the utility goes through, and Loud go forward. But the thing is, they haven't really made their way out of main yet. That choke has gone uncleared. Zekin's able to get one, though. The Loud persistent in their approach, continue to push the pace, continue to move forward. And the lighter defense from Sentinels there will crumble. Didn't have the guns, they had the numbers, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, you don't have the Phantoms to really get what you want to do, spamming through that smoke. It was a nice headshot by Zekin with the Sheriff. He's really came online. But I have to say it, Loud have done their homework, and it is showing right now. The contact into Art here, getting that pick, and not just running out with the first layer of utility on the attacking side. They baited out so much of that defensive utility, the Fade Eye, the Tejo missiles, and then they regress. Use those guns to their advantage. It's very smart fundamental play right now from Loud. Here's that dash play again.
Aggressive, they're investing a lot behind this.
Oh, what a connection.
Dropping John. And the Blades are looking for more, but he's been sucked into place. Now being able to accelerate and go again, he just waltzes into his death. Narrate is there. He's gonna pop his ult, and it's gonna connect on a couple of members. All three, there's one missing. But how do you navigate through all of that info in such a tense moment? Kalanzin strikes on to Narrate.
And now that's B-side completely open. Vinny calling a freeze to the round. Zekin, he's reaggressing into A main.
He's gotta be careful. Cannot overextend.
But look at how deep Kalanzin is going. He's gonna creep by water. He hears the rotate. Zelsis.
Like two ships in the night. Oh, only one of them knows more than the other.
What great IGLing right now. You dagger the site. It hits Zelsis in that moment, I believe.
Kalanzin is still in that position that you mentioned. He hears Zelsis running over. That's as free of a kill as you're gonna get. 3 on the round for Kalanzin. Second in a 1v3. Gets his one. Still a winnable situation here. Can he convert?
He has to convert.
Spike planted.
It's a big ask. Note here, Vinny is weak. Pancada stands with him though. Second with so much to do, carefully, meticulously, clearing every single angle, every single corner. He's got to speed up though. Time is not on his side. Off the tap, he spots one. Still no idea where the other one is. Vinny biding his time, waiting for the swing. Knife out. He's got to reposition. Spotting the other. Now has idea on where both of them are. But it's too much to deal with. Loud will get to 5.
What phenomenal IGLing right now from Vinny. He's really running circles around this Sentinel's defense. This set play off the rip. The Sova ultimate to punish John QD. You have to be frustrated, but the timing on the lurks and the deposit, using the recharge of the dagger to get info that there's still a player on A, taking your odds at B. It's just smart gameplay. There's nothing to be said more about it. Vinny, the IGL sitting at 7-4-4. Another KO ultimate online.
And a timeout called from Sentinels. Again, the last time we heard from Kaplan, he sounded frustrated, perturbed at what he was seeing, and I imagine the conversation hasn't changed much here.
And at this point, as a player, I would imagine you'd be very frustrated with what's happening to you as well. I mean, you even the trades on the site, but then you're getting lurked on. Then there's a deposit of a Sova. No one really expects the Sova lurk.
No, why would you?
But it was drawn up like that from the start for Loud. He was sitting all the way in the back of spawn with that lineup dart. Gets the Sova ultimate. He's the win contingency plan, wrapping all the way back around Art. And so far, there's been so many different type of looks from Loud. It's really hard if you're SEN because your retakes haven't really been working. That's the bread and butter that you fall back on when you aren't winning those 50-50s.
What's the adaptation? What's the change? What's the tinkering of the approach on the other side of this timeout?
I don't know. You don't really have that big of an investment. This time, Cypher in a main with a deep cam. He will spot Zekin out. And he wants none of that smoke. He knows how that fight has gone. Playing so far back. Dagger.
Remember here, that knife has shown A at the beginning of almost every round, so this is a different look.
Yeah, it's a heavy lean right now towards B.
Trying to proc the wall.
Yeah, great bait of the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, really the way that Loud have approached dealing with the Sentinel's utility, they've exposed the big flaw. And they're waiting now for a set play Doug, they're waiting for that set play that Sentinels threw against 100 Thieves with the Tejo missiles onto pillar and backside.
That's the cue for them to go. The ult has been popped from Vinny, and now they can move towards B. Remember here, the gun's not great. Any damage is well spent. That's a big one out from Bang. Off the flash, the swing from DG as he continues to go back sight and claim names. That's all three. Narrate once again in a 1vx. That feels borderline impossible.
I mean, the human aimbot, he's locking on with no hesitation. He's really, really stepped up his rifle play here. All that time spent in Tier 2 finally gets a chance again with a team no other than Loud. One of Brazil's finest over the years. What a resurgence from DG Zine. We saw glimpses of what he was capable of on Furia. But he has stepped it up to another level, Doug.
Here's an adaptation, an op in the hands of Zekken. It's just hard. I mean,
already gets baited out.
Yeah, he's already pushed off the angle.
What do Loud decide to do off of this information, though? Don't have another chance with the drone, at least, to clear that. But this gives confidence to Pancata, to Tuis, to start trickling forward, clearing out some of the other space. I mean, they have so much map control right now, and Zekken, he's staying towards his B site.
John has ult. Loud, with none to speak of.
And this is where Bang shines. This is where Bang needs to step up and be that site anchor we know he can be.
He's got help here, too. But can they wait this out? John's able to get the first. The spam on a DG's in.
Ridiculous spam kill.
The spike's still not made its way out of ARP, but the reinforcements have arrived. Keep a close eye on Tui's on the minimap. He wonders again, it's on the flank. Kawanzine falls. Tui's, if he plays his time right, he had it, but Zelsis a step ahead, 2 steps ahead.
30 seconds left. Last player standing.
And they've been picked apart this round. You imagine there will be a change on the approach from Loud, because it seems like Sentinels have figured that out. A flawless one as they get to 2.
At this time, Sentinels not dropping early, playing that full retake, committing to it at A. John, I don't know how he gets that spam kill. Maybe just knows the pathing of DG Zine. Heard this A exec.
Yeah, heard the dash, whatever it was.
That's a hard read. He spammed the top of site right there, and bang. He's so good at anchoring this A site. Sneaks into that pit area and just spams the planter. And now we have Loud going back to that default with the KO dagger in A main.
Time to jump.
Doesn't connect onto Zekken. That should be a good picture painted for where their operator could be. And I cannot believe he just did that with a Phantom.
I was about to say that. That was a Phantom from another map over. But Zelsis, able to counter.
He felt himself a little too much there, Doug. A little way too big of an overheat.
DG traded back. And they call freeze to the round again. You know, you mentioned it a couple of rounds ago, but the calling from Loud has been spectacular.
Yeah, Vinny crept all the way into A main. He's confident in taking all that space because he knows Zelsis isn't, or he knows that Zekken isn't on the other end. A bit of a double dip here. Oh, Kawanzine. I almost would have rather him be seen by that, but the reason why he's not is because it's A fake right now. Everyone is actually geared up towards B. John.
They're already rotating back towards B. They already know it's a fake. The utility from KO was not enough to draw the veil over their eyes.
Seconds left.
Sight will be given here, though. Vice ultimate in the hands of Zelsis. John, he's sitting on the Armageddon as well. All of Elbow will be blown up right now.
You got to keep a close eye on Vinny. He's in a position, too. He can scale all the way in through water. Ultimate's now used. First the Cosmic Divide, then the Vice ult. And there's Tejo's ult, too. Again, chaos on the site. Sentinel's able to get a couple, and it's all falling on to Vinny. He was the last man at the scene, and it was just a moment too late.
Good patience on that retake from Sentinels. This time not jumping the gun. I thought John was going to invest that Armageddon in Elbow like he's used previously. There's that insane shot. And the overheat. But the Armageddon to push out everybody from that pillar area, flush them out, all out on the site.
Nice.
That's
Good job.
exactly the fights that Sentinels were looking for on that retake. So finally, stringing some rounds together, giving themselves a fighting chance on this map of Pearl.
Oh, I think even more so, starting to take a dent into Loud's economy.
Mm-hmm. Right? He's on a stinger.
Yeah, it feels like the first time we've had that. And so Sentinels seem to have found some sort of footing. They've inserted Zelsis in a really aggressive angle. So yeah, they know Zekin's there, but are they diligent enough to clear that? The thing is, he could be behind pillar, but they know he's been mollied out, he's been found, he's been had.
What a great trade from Zekin, though.
And once again, Loud will slow the round down.
So risky of Zekin to jump back on top of that box in the face of, what, 3-4 attackers.
But is that not the conversation Kaplan was having, right? You're right, it's risky, but that risk countered it.
Yep. Everybody from the side of Loud geared up towards this A main.
They haven't really shown much either, but once again,
it's Bang.
With help here, it's not just him. He's got reinforcements. He's got Narrate and John here.
He's just so good at anchoring. Look at all the delay he's done. He's snuck into pit again.
Well, and it's not just that, too. They dropped a suck. They dropped the salvos.
They dropped the stun.
And so that's going to give him a little bit more room to come back up off the side of that ult. Uncomfortable. Loud are not able to get settled in.
So much pressure being applied by the spam of Bang.
This push and pull continues. 20 seconds left in the round. No real time to go anywhere else.
And you still have your ultimate. Oh!
Spam through the smoke. Bang falls. Kalanzine gets 4. When the heck did that happen?
He wants it. He wants the ace. Is he going to hunt for it?
He's got the op in hand. There's really no reason not to.
Get out of there, Zekin.
Kalanzine trying to hunt him down. Knows they're nipping at his heels.
I mean, he's already getting flushed out. Look at the minimap. Pankata is wrapping all the way behind.
They're trying their damnedest to get this weapon out of their hands. And they might just succeed.
They're trying to feed it to Kalanzine. He baits out the shot with the jump spot.
Pankata will steal it away, but Loud will get to 7. And I think more importantly, they're going to have to reinvest into the ult if they want, or the op, excuse me, if they want it again.
The good thing for Sentinels is with that string of rounds that they got, he will be able to buy up at op for at least one more round. That was a great trade. Bang. I mean, unlucky, bro. Kalanzine, good awareness on the spam there. He held down that pit area just by himself.
Op again online. They've reinvested into it. And this time it's a much more aggressive angle. Remember, it's been passive, but this time he's crept up. No damage dealt?
Can't hit the mark. Drone as well to flush him out even further. So methodical right now from the side of Loud. Pushing this operator back. This is the first time we've seen this aggressive of a mid lurk. Zelsis, you need to be careful, but what is the timing?
They both looked away. They both looked away at the wrong time, and now the ult has been invested. Now they're going to dash out onto the side. Now they're going to be able to get the spike down, and now again, Sentinels are on the back foot. What do they have? They have Bang's ult. John has the op.
And Kata as well. We could go for this late flank.
There's been so many layers of these flanks. You're absolutely right. Just when you think you have them dealt with, there's something else creeping away. But Sentinels have been able to open this up. The lurk from Pankata took too long. They're trying to block the suck, and they fail, but now they're going to get a second attempt at it. Pankata, again, creeping forward. They know where he is now, but Bang's going to stick the defuse. Sentinels will get to 4. What a mess of a round.
Textbook retake from Sentinels. Textbook flashes from Zekin. Nobody on the actual site from the side of Loud could see a damn thing on that retake that Sen just did.
And for as much as there was textbook, as you were saying on the retake and stuff like that, this was anything but.
Yeah.
That was the opposite of textbook. I mean, that was silly.
What a timing found from Tui's.
Yeah.
you see Zelsis jump spotting from that spot a lot. This is the problem with running the Vice and not running a Cypher. You kind of have to use your body because players can creep up.
Right.
But you don't expect Tui's to be that close that quickly into the round. I mean, he took that timing off the rip. But Sentinels, they do snag that round away, and they're still in this. This time, heavy mid for the defensive side. Maybe anticipating a switch up.
They're all fighting here.
Yeah, I think they expected Loud to finally start walking towards that mid or maybe try to catch out Tui's.
Which is what they have been doing, you're right.
And also, last time that Loud played this map, there was a lot of heavy mid focus.
Wait, he's going in. Didn't want to leave Pancada on his own on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, but Doug, we've seen this story before. Sentinels on the retake on B.
Vinny popped his ult. It's going to buy a little bit of time. A small window for them to sink their teeth deeper into this site, into the round. Remember, last one of the half here. Op still in the hands of John. DG tries to turn the flash, and he's disposed of. Now the Nightfall will connect onto all members of Loud. Silence all over, and second swings back, side gets 3, and that's the round. Sentinels close out a beautiful half.
A great recovery to this defensive side of Pearl. It was looking so doomed. At one point, it was 6-1 for Loud. Vinny was calling circles around him. DG Zine was just having his way. But Sentinels staying calm, keeping their composure, and sticking to the game plan of what works, which is their retakes.
An incredible first half. Loud up 2. We're going to throw it down to Ender, who's standing by at the co-streaming booth with a couple of very special guests.
Hey, I'm here with Lucky and with Sadil in the co-streamer booth watching the games. And first of all, I just have to say this is crazy because Sadil, I literally coached you on Teddy Tactics in GC. You're a pro, so I want to come to you and ask your thoughts on the game so far and what do you think's been going so well for Loud?
Okay, thank you, Coach. Honestly, I'm here as a Loud fan, so I will say that I think Loud is amazing. I think they're the better team, in my opinion. Zekken's been getting amazing kills, though, on Yoru. He's keep getting the first bloods, but honestly, Loud is the one that is closing out the round. So, I don't know. I know who I'm rooting for, but I know the crowd is SEN fans, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, there they go. There they go. Woo, Loud! Who's with me? Nobody? Okay.
Okay, we got some Loud fans. We got some Loud fans in the crowd. Now, Lucky, I know you're a big foodie, and I see you've tried out some of the concessions here. What's the best option here? Do you got a top 3?
My top 3, I think I've tried everything on the menu so far. I can't go wrong with a classic hot dog. I'm really happy it's all beef. So that's my favorite so far. You can't go wrong with some chips and queso, but the brownie melts in your mouth. So I definitely recommend that.
Okay, the brownie melts in your mouth. Have you gotten into anything?
Yeah, I like the burger. The burger's amazing. It's vegan too. I thought it was real meat. What the heck?
Yo, shout out. I mean, that works for me. Absolutely love that. Now, I know there's a lot of Sentinels fans in the crowd, but I want to try something here. I want to see if we from this booth can overpower them. So Sentinels fans, get going, and then the Loud fans over here, we're going to try and fight back. Sentinels, give me something. All right, go Loud, get in there. Thank you so much. We're sending it back to the casters, getting to the second half.
Thank you so much, Ender. Again, 2 rounds separating these 2 squads. It's been close, and as you mentioned it really felt like Loud was going to be able to run away with it. They were up big. Sentinels looked frustrated. They looked lost, and Loud were set up to put them away, but as was the case on Lotus, as has been the case oftentimes when we talk about Sentinels and watch this team, is they refuse to relent.
Yeah, it really looked like they finally realized, yo, we remember who we are. We remember why this roster was put together, why we're all on this team.
Deep knife tagging a couple. No rotations. Meanwhile, nice be damned. Unbelievable that TG gets that kill.
And the double dip, getting the 50 damage on the Bang as well. It's a speed up right now. Zelsis, he's going to full commit to this exit.
Fearless in his approach as he continues to dance around and look for a second target. He does follow. Meanwhile, Sentinels crack the site wide open. Kalantine and Tui's left in a 2v4, and almost all members on the side of Sentinels are weak. They're battered here. That's one found. It's going to fall in the hands of Tui's. Again, 20 HP, 35 and 45. This is very winnable for Tui's.
Problem is,
if he can isolate the ones, if he can get them on their own, there's a shot.
But that's the problem. Sentinels are so good at not giving the 1v1s, and it won't even matter anyway. Bang takes out Tui's. Even if Tui somehow hits that flick, there's 2 more members of Sentinels that are ready to swing out, get that trade. But right now, Loud have felt the pressure of Sentinels. Sentinels, even being a man down right there, Zekken falls early. They just run it down. The trades were perfect. A big pistol round win if you're a Sentinels fan.
Sheriff for DG. Oh, that's aggressive. Vinny's got nowhere to go. He's dead.
Yeah, just caught completely in the open.
Meanwhile, they're trying to accelerate down B. Zellsis is ready for it. At least enough to get one.
Yeah, it's a free A site though. Orb is gathered onto DGZine. He's been hitting some headshots, man. Will get taken out for free here by a headshot. And this retake is impossible. Sentinels surely win this round. And pretty cleanly too, or at least we'll see. See what kind of damage Loud can do here.
As things stand, you're right. They're going to be able to carry 3 rifles.
That's the only benefit. Zekken's going hunting, trying to get that Yoru ultimate even closer to being online. You imagine in the next round you'll see a much slower approach from the side of SEN. And a lot of damage being done right now. Tui's can get another. He can't. A lot of damage done though from the side of Loud.
Yeah, they'll carry 2 guns. I think it made sense to go ahead and send Zekken out with just the Ghost.
Yeah.
You're right. See if he can get closer to that ult, but dropping one of those rifles is certainly not part of the plan.
Yeah, this is the power of the Taeho. I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You can't really play in between the utility. You're either fully committed in or you're out. This time around, that classic against the Vandal, I mean, Zekken's gonna take you down. I was wondering if this was gonna be a round where Sentinels tried to get some orbs onto Zekken, but it's just gonna be a fast mid approach. They're gonna try to take this art space. There is a trip on the other end.
That dog did not detect the trip towards mid. So if they choose to go that way, that still has to be dealt with.
Trip hit, but full disrespect from Zekken. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's got his TPE back towards spawn, so he can do that. He can be this ward of sorts that can try to explore and find things out and then get back to safety. That timing was not great for him.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah, great proactivity from Loud. That's the smoke. Smoke's completely gone from the side of SEN. They're making a lot of noise on this. They're going to get delayed.
Tui's and Pankata have a lot to do here. Tui's just going to go unchecked, isn't he? Drops the flash on the swing out. John's here to greet him. Pankata's able to deal a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. 3v3 here. They don't really have control.
Spike planted.
Vinny perched up in heaven. They're so paranoid of what's happening around the rest of the map. Kawanzine is having to use the drone from so far back in lane.
Does clear out all that space, but at the same time, Zellsis, he's put that wall behind. All eyes ahead.
Stun used, not connecting. Spike ticking. The need to accelerate ever present and growing with every second that passes.
It's not planted for them long.
No, they're going to have to fight through this. That's going to help. That's going to buy a little bit of time. Kawanzine has gotten it to half, but he'll pay for it with his life. 2v2 now. Zellsis on the swing, both off of it, and he cannot hold it. He cannot connect. Beautiful from Loud.
Really coming down to the wire. Sentinels with straight brute force running through lane onto that B site. Perfect trades. But that timing into A main really opened up the confidence, and you see the frustration. I mean, he was holding that the entire way through. What a close retake as well. Getting half there, committing your life for the cause. Such a split-second decision that needs to be made, but it was the right one this time around.
Yeah, one feels like it got away from him. And now Louder in a really good position. They're up around. They've got some money that they've invested, and their ults are starting to come online at just the right time.
This is such an important round for either side.
Yep.
You really put a dent in the economy either way, whoever wins this round.
This is a swing round. Zalsis is going to use his ult, or excuse me, Zekken. Again, going forward.
He spots them both. Pankata's on an island, he's done.
Oh, he's able to sidestep the salvos, but you don't sidestep that! Sentinel's able to push forward. Bellicose in their approach. Nary's hand gave him away. And they know where the other one is. DG having to reposition. Sentinels with a slight numbers advantage, but Zekken's so weak. And do they know where he is at TP? Now the dart out. DG trying to smoke himself off, waiting for the challenge, daring the swing, daring the bait.
No one's swinging though. What a hard read.
Patience on, and Kalantine swings into his death. DG's gonna have to do it on his own. He's gotten it down to a 1v2, and Zalsis delivers. We're tied again.
You cannot play in B site against the Yoru ultimate of Zekken. He does such a good job of finding out where the defenders are, and that follow-up utility. What was that, by the way, from John? What a flick.
Yeah.
The transfer with one bullet on it? Craziness. This is the power of the Teo Yoru composition, though. You cannot play in these sites.
Again, calm out from Zalsis there. Didn't leave his seat. No crazy pop-off.
Yeah, it's serious.
They're still in this fight. A position to take the lead. Louder on an eco.
Yeah. Jet knives should have been popped. Yep, there it is.
If you're Sentinels here, excuse me, you want to try to get through this round without investing any of those ults. You want to try to carry Johns and Zalsis into the next round.
You also want to play cautiously enough to the point where you do not give DG Zin a first blood with these jet knives. You want to try to identify where he's at, maybe head the other way.
And it looks like DG's been let off the leash. He's by himself.
Yeah, look at the cautious approach right now from Sentinels. Though narrate.
Careful,
he's good
son.
at this.
He's gonna swing you.
What is that right click? What a fast trade though from Bang Dug.
I don't think the observer saw it. That was the one real benefit that they had, and that's now gone. Pankata feeling the walls closing in.
Yeah.
And if you're Sentinels, it looks like you're gonna get through this with success.
Only one rifle dropped as well. You still have 3 ultimates online and available. Shouldn't have to use anything here. And that really was the cue though. As soon as you spot out DG Zin in mid, the trade, okay, that's icing on the cake for sure, but you sped up B. You have the whole site. You have the gun advantage. Now Zekken, he's already working towards another ultimate.
Enemy remaining.
Just 3 away now as Vinny falls.
And he's been so...
Oh, and they know where he is,
I'm
too.
telling you. Like, I don't know how... John is truly a master at this agent. How does he know?
He's quite talented.
That's such a far spot to shoot the missiles at. What a hard read.
The round will end without Kalantine getting a duel.
But he does save a rifle.
And Sentinels take the lead. Take a look at this round one more time. Amazing. In fact, we should probably run that one back.
Killed me with that one, bro.
A timeout called from Loud. Another close fight, man.
Yeah. First timeout used for the side of Loud. They do have one more in the arsenal. But yeah, so far this has been an astonishing comeback from Sentinels. I mean, winning 8 of the last 10 rounds. That is difficult, especially with the pressure that Loud was applying. And to be able to flip that and give it back as well. We've seen Loud now crumble on a lot of these site hits. And how do you really weather the storm of all this utility from Sentinels? Like, if you're not confident in your own retake and giving sight, it's gonna be an uphill battle, to say the least. So adjustments to be made. Maybe you'll see more B long control. I'm sure DG Zin would love to have an operator online, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to afford that one.
Oh, they don't have the funds.
And that's so interesting because he is off 56% of the defensive rounds.
And he's not, I mean, he
hasn't had one online at all.
Yeah.
And maybe it is on purpose. Maybe it's deliberate. Maybe he doesn't want to have to deal with the Yoru clone, the Teho utility, all the Fade Prowlers.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of just get bombarded. But here's the change-up. It's that B long control.
Kalanzine popping his ult.
No way.
And Zekin's trying to deal a fight and win it while getting away. That's bloody criminal.
And it wasn't pretty. But it doesn't matter. Everyone geared up towards that A side of the map for Sentinels. The furthest rotation possible right now. Tui's is truly on an island.
DG is starting to arrive at the scene. But this foot race looks like it's going to be won by Sentinels. And they're going to have to give up the space. I mean, they cannot fight here.
You can't. Look at all this utility.
So they concede the site to Sentinels, live to fight another day, and now attempt this retake with strength and numbers, and now those numbers equalized.
That's a good opening.
It's a different beast. Cosmic Divide invested, segmenting the site, ripping them apart, and now there's more they're going to have to deal with. You cannot play back site. There's nowhere that's safe. Being flushed out from dugout.
Teo missiles coming online in 3 seconds, Doug.
And now the spam fight ensues. Bang's able to connect onto DG, but Loud's able to fight back. John has to be careful on the swing. Kalanzine is there. Pankata's gotten it to half, and the missiles will delay, but the defuse will come through.
It is over.
We're tied again.
And you know what? The idea of John QT using that Armageddon in that pit area, it's so smart, but it actually ends up working against them on accident because it prompts the speed up of Loud, and the Sentinels players on site were just not ready. They weren't ready for the random aggression and the shots that had to be hit in such a high pressure scenario from Loud. There's that operator online.
You were talking about him being, or Tui's being on an island in the previous round. He is certainly left alone here, completely set apart from the rest of his team.
Heavy focus on mid. It's a 1-3-1 approach from Loud. Maybe trying to play in the minds of Sentinels that that operator is towards mid. There was a drone instantly out mid. Really masking where DG Zin is playing. And you see right now from the side of SEN, I mean, they're cautious, they're worried.
This defense has been stingy. They have an idea that Zekin's there. The timing's really nice as the dash dissipates. Doubt. Now in for DG.
Smart of SEN to re-clear mid late in the round, understanding that the defense is probably pushed back already. Here comes the re-clear though from DGZ. Is he gonna catch out Zekin on this timing? It's actually Narrate.
The
that
knife
catches the timing.
The knife tagged him on the tower. They do know where he is. They've also invented the knife wall to try to push Vinny back. And now they realize they're getting closed in on the split is through. DG again with the op, still hasn't fired it off. Because he hasn't had a target, he hasn't had a chance. Continually pushed back.
Spike planted.
And that's enough for Sentinels to get the spike down. Now, the attempted retake for Loud is at hand. But how do they find a way in? They're not. They're cutting their losses. They're saving.
It's too difficult. Retaking with the operator.
1 kill onto Kalanzine, and that's enough.
That's the type of match we're in. That's the amount of respect these two teams have for each other. And again, I mean, if you go for this retake and lose, essentially Loud would be
10.
losing 2 rounds in a row, right?
Yeah,
SEN would be at 11-9.
Right.
If you know, unless you get eco'd, but with the way that SEN have been playing, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So Loud saving those weapons, giving themselves a fighting chance in the following round, another chance to tie things up. But yet again, Zekin with that Yoru ultimate, I feel like every single time he's invested that, they've won the round on the attacking side. He just gets so much info and free space. So difficult to deal with. And let's see, maybe this operator B long for a DG Zine can be what denies all this B long space that Sentinels have been getting for free, essentially.
Interesting here, light armor on a couple of members of Sentinels, and they had the money.
There's a TP.
Oh, there's a shot out from DG. Vinny joining in, and Pankata drops 2. The transfer's beautiful.
A complete massacre. And Bang just going a little bit too far forward. He was in his... Oh.
Big from John to find 2, but when you're staring down 5, that's a tough ass. So we're tied at 10 again.
He almost connected on that third with a spray transfer, but yeah, Bang was too focused on getting that pickup smoke out or suck in that B connector, that street area, that he just wasn't aware that there's an opper here.
Gorgeous from Pancada there. He's so freaking good, man.
But it really was Loud maximizing on the mistake of Sentinels.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It looks like a timeout has been called.
Last timeout.
Another moment to slow things down. Another opportunity to kind of, you know, postulate on what's before us, right? Like, what can we expect in these next couple of rounds, Trey?
I think you're going to see more emphasis on this B side from Loud, and I think Sentinels need to identify, hey, we've been destroying at this B side. Let's start working something else. Maybe a little bit of A main pressure. We can still use the stealth bot towards B long, see if DG Zin is posted up trying to get an aggressive angle on it. But there needs to be more action somewhere else. And then you can start going back to B again. This could also be a good opportunity to let the emotions settle a little bit, because this is such a high pressure moment. I mean, SEN, they're down a map right now. We have to keep that in mind. That plays a huge factor. It's a different type of game when you have that on your back. You can't let the little things slip away like what we just saw.
Op still for DG, this time playing towards Art. So that B focus that you were talking about from Loud, choosing to go away from it.
The Sentinels will still use that reclear utility, or else they should. Very similar look from Sentinels in this round.
Vinny feeling a lot of the pressure, a counter flash to buy himself some time.
And there's that stealth drone.
Yep.
There's the pickup star. This time around, not getting picked by the operator.
Whoa.
Nice jiggle, but he needs to get out of here. We've seen him get punished too many times.
John doesn't have missiles, so they can't flush him out. Instead, they cut noise. An unsettling silence creeps over the site.
All 4 members holding that left side, waiting for the jump up. I think they have an idea that Pancada might have wanted to reposition to somewhere more aggressive, because he's been getting decimated backside.
Sentinels are starving Loud of information here. They are not showing anything.
But the thing is, Loud are willing to play retake on that A site. There are 4 members here. It's going to have to be a flood, and Pancada knows. Here's the cue.
Where's the pop? Pancada on the swing, able to get one on his Elsis, the second on to narrate. That's 3, make that 4. Again, a slaughter. Loud get to 11.
Pancada with the anticipation. There was pings out from Sentinels that he could be there, but he goes unchecked. What a massive round at the perfect moment for Pancada. And the spacing on the peaks was just not there from Sentinels to get the trade in time.
I mean, they tried.
What percent do you think that is? What, 50?
It's got to be more than 30.
70?
That's for sure.
This guy's been a monster. That dagger lands on a couple members of Sentinels. A lot of info gathered. A drone out mid as well.
But Sentinels haven't cared about that. That's not the first time they get tagged by that knife. B main, and they continue to push anyway.
But the thing is, look at how confident Loud are getting when that dagger hits. It's like they know that they're going A.
They're going to fully fight this.
No way, not again.
Stubborn, perhaps, in how they try to go about this. Pancada can't see a thing, and he falls. Zekin finds so much space, finds lethality. And with 5 alive, Sentinels thrive.
And this time, if you're Loud, you are trying to do as much damage as possible. Your economy is fine for the rest of the game. Sentinels, look at their money. If you can break some of these guns, if you could even get 3 guns out, you have a real good chance of securing an advantage in the future rounds.
Oh, how crippling and debilitating that would be. But it doesn't seem like Loud are interested in pursuing that.
I would expect at least Kalanzin to go for something. He's 2 off the orb. I mean, if he gets a kill and gets traded, gets the Sova ultimate online, and you're about to be at a tie. So not thinking too far ahead. We'll see if that Sova ultimate could have helped them in this future round, but that B hit from Sentinels. It doesn't matter if it's Lotus, doesn't matter if it's Pearl. We go B.
They like it, they know what they want to do.
And it's worked more times than not. This time adjusting the utility, Pancata getting completely flushed out. Sentinels are not falling for that twice in a row. Huge investment there. Tether, the Teho missiles.
Sentinels are continuing to buy light armor when they can afford full armor.
Yeah, they understand that with the way this match has been going. That was a dodge of a knife this time, by the way. Very intuitive of Zelsis. But they understand with how this game has been going that if it's been round, right? If they lose this round, at least they could still buy the next because of that light armor buy. Playing for the long haul.
Again, listen to how quiet the site is.
We haven't seen Zelsis take this timing yet this match. He might catch players lacking right now. Oh, he can't connect, Doug!
He's made a mess of the situation. Kawanzin's still alive, but so is Zelsis. No harm done.
Goodness.
Meanwhile, Sentinel's exploring the other side of the map. You've got DG posted up on a really aggressive angle in A main.
Yeah, Bang has to really wait. He needs these players in Art to take a lot of that pressure off of him. They need to draw DG's in, but I don't think he's falling for it.
The Haunt didn't tag him. They don't know he's there.
I don't think he's falling for it at all.
Bang is patient with it. There's the op, there's the shot, and there's the kill. And now they know where he is, but they still have to flush him out. You cannot leave him here.
Look at the way he's playing this. Is he ready for Zelsis? I don't think he is. Zelsis, you cannot miss this one.
And he does not. Meanwhile, the rest of Loud are starting to push in through spawn. Off of the flash, too. He's fine second. John trying to do his best to keep them at bay at arm's length as he gets a second video on the trade, though, a 2v2 in this post-plant. John, again, the architect of these rounds, but it's Zelsis who puts the finishing touches on it all. Sentinels get to map point.
He may have whiffed in the beginning, but he made up for it. Oh boy, did he. Securing that timing on a DG. He's not missing twice in a row. And the full spray down on the players on site. Thwarting any attempt of a retake. He always steps up when he needs to for this roster. And you can see how much it meant for him. Full buys across the board. Sova ultimate still not online for Kawanzin. And it's fast A aggression from Sen.
But how far do they go? As it seems like the aggression was only intended for A main. Perhaps to see if DG was posted up with an op on that angle, but they find nothing.
And they cycled the orb onto Zelsis. He's one off. They're gonna go back B, potentially grab that orb as well. We've seen Sentinels do this B hit time and time again. And the only time Loud was able to hold it was Pancata getting a 4K.
They aren't even concerned about the middle of the map. I don't think they've walked in there.
They do not care. This is such a good call right now from John. That drone. All this utility should be spotted. Pancata.
They've got to know. Zelsis has his ult. They've got to know.
Gotta get out of here, man.
This could be the right cross that puts Loud away. DG's not able to use that op. Forced into lighter weaponry. Pancata weak. Pancata dead. And again, Loud not still really allowed to play the round.
You can't save this time, Doug.
Kawanzin one off of his ult. Keep a close eye on that. Air 8, trying to peek forward, trying to get a kill, and does. Vinny falls now. 3 remain for Loud. You see Zekin, he's gonna go exploring. He's gonna play this really aggressively on the other side of the smoke. Spotting a gun barrel, the snap is magnetic. Zekin puts them away, we're going the distance. (13-11, 13-11).
What an assassination. No hesitation. Pure instinct. Zekin. What a presence in the server.
You talk about wanting to play with confidence. You talk about wanting to take your timings and go make plays. Yeah.
Yeah. From the start, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Solo away main taking 50-50s. Even when he gets flashed, he was staying in there. Closes it out. That B hit is just too strong from the side of Sentinels. Pancata, I mean, he had no idea what to do against all that utility. Played in so many times, got punished for it time and time.
It was just too much. I think it's such a big ask. There's no way. We do have one more map to decide it all. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, the desk will break down map 2. They'll get us all hot and bothered for map 3. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Vinho cara. Será que ele faz? Aqui ainda pronta. Foi cancelado! This is it. The Null Commander set them up, and instantly around the corner, Zealous is waiting. Oh my God!
All right, everyone, and welcome back as Sentinels pick up a 13-11 win, and you can see the Sentinels boys getting their sustenance as they're getting ready for this next
bananas,
matchup.
though.
What was it?
Yeah, I saw Twizzlers. I saw a bunch of just candies.
What kind of irresponsible crap is that?
It's a sugar high. We need new stats. Sugar versus potassium. Which one's the better matchup?
I would imagine potassium.
I've never been a pro player, Emily.
I
What are we talking about here?
Actually, Vans, you're fired.
Sorry.
There you go. All right, well, let's go ahead, though, seriously, and jump into what we just saw. Because, Emily, it felt like we were getting the same thing that we were seeing in map 1. We were getting it again in map 2. Loud was looking good. The first half was looking solid for them. It did fall apart in the end, but you were definitely seeing some great ideas from Loud in the beginning.
No, literally, what a map. I'm so glad SEN was able to bring it back, first of all, to keep my 2-1 prediction alive. But I just wanted to point out, Loud's attack, especially Vinny's calls, like, I think he had perfect calls, honestly, the whole half. Even in the rounds that we didn't end up winning, it was just phenomenal. He was able to take the space that he needed, get the bomb down. It was mostly where we fell apart was in the post plant.
I mean, you bring up a great point because that was something that we highlighted at the beginning of this matchup. How would Vinny call against a prolific IGL such as John Cutie, where now he gets to call on the attack side first? The way that he took map control at the very beginning and pushing Zekken away from these early spots on Yoru allows them, or forces Sentinels to play a little bit more passive, a little bit more reactive. And that's where you're going back to these rounds I wanted to bring up, where Sentinels just they had to play more reactionary, but at the same time, they had to start playing those retakes. And those retake protocols are really good. So when you go back to the calling of how Vinny plays here and identifies the teams moving through, well, how Sentinels comes back with not only on the protocols of retakes, but on the ultimates that were able to scale from round to round, really allowed for them to look at that. Like, I mean, it's just Sentinels almost even on flawless rounds getting retake rounds at the same time against Loud. Nothing really that they could do, and Sentinels needed that because once Loud took the defensive side, it started getting very difficult when DigiZine had the off-bound.
Yeah, and there were a few moments where we were seeing, Emily, right, like they were just stuck with, the most massive gun in their hands they possibly could hold, but not a gun that they need to get back into the site because of the way that everything is played out. Do you feel like at some point maybe put that op away, focus a bit more just on getting those rifles?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, especially going into pointing out Sentinels. I said in the first map that I feel like their fundamentals, their basics were lacking. All the strats was there. They were doing most things right with their util and their comp. Here, I feel like they really brought it all together, which made it very hard for Loud.
Yeah, hey, maybe it was a good talk with Coach Kaplan over there, right? A good stern discussion. Maybe whip those boys into shape. Who knows, though? Of course, Loud currently tied up now 1-1 as we get ready for map number 3. Let's go and talk about it because it's split. Now, Loud will be on the defensive first here. But Emily, I want to start with you because you and I have been talking a lot about this split game. You have some opinions. I want to get your thoughts on this.
This map I am so excited for. I was hoping it would go into a map 3 just because of their comps, right? They both run the Teo Breach, at least from the past games that they've had streamed. The only difference is Sentinels runs double controller, whereas I would say Loud runs a more standard comp with the double innie. So I'm just excited to see how it plays out. Hopefully to see some rounds on defense from Sentinels.
I definitely want to know what the preparation for Loud would be going into this one, because as the coach mentioned going to the first map interview with Liz, they have practiced against enough Teo compositions. They know what to bring out, what to expect. And on the side of Sentinels, as much as it was their map where they were really good on in the past too, they were thrown in for a loop against 100 Thieves. And even Kaplan, after that interview when they lost map 1 against 100 Thieves, mentioned in the interview that the Sage actually threw him for a loop. So as much practice that you could put into that one, if you're not prepared into what the game plan is to anti-strat you like 100 Thieves did, there's a great opportunity for Loud to really take this to the 2-1 that you predicted.
And I can't wait to see it happen.
And I will say, though, it's quite surprising that, and I shouldn't even say surprising, maybe that's the improper word. I think it's actually great to see how much work Loud have put in to work against these Teo compositions that they know that they were going to be running into because, Sentinels have been very public and straightforward. John QT's running what's his face? So Teo. So it's like, is there, Emily, a possibility here where that could potentially backfire? Could Sentinels maybe throw a spanner into the works here?
I think so. Possibly, if they fix the issues from that map with, I believe it was against Crew.
Yeah.
But I still have to vote Loud here. I still do. The double innie beats the double controller for me.
Yeah, I think going back to that game as well, when you're trying to see how DigiZine could actually build, like we talked about it in just that in the MVP rather, in the head-to-head. DigiZine, we were basically saying that Loud could live or die by the sword with DigiZine bringing out an operator as soon as possible. But he was rifling like a king going in that second map on Pearl. So to see now that DigiZine has proven to us doubters of DigiZine that he's actually a complete duelist for Loud, this actually brings a lot of heavy firepower for a team like Loud on Split that could really go toe-to-toe against that Zekin as a rifler as well.
Oh, look, if there's one thing that we've gathered from this series is that we are in for a barn burner. Map 3, coming up next, is going to be Split. Who walks away as the winner? Who moves on in this competition? We'll catch you guys in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
If Map 1 and Map 2 were any indication of what Map 3 holds, we are in for a good time. I'm Doug. With me on the call is Dre. We're going to turn our attention over to Split now, where you expect to see a lot of the breach, a lot of the Tejo, but the one wrinkle that I guess isn't really a wrinkle because we've seen it the last two maps is Sentinels love to run the Yoru with it.
Yeah, and it's looked great. I mean, this composition is basically what they're dying by the sword on. I mean, they've ran this so many times before. The key difference here is Zelsis is now on the Viper, which we've seen him dominate on in this map. And I think it's very, very tough if you're allowed to deal with